Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 presentation of graduates of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. The Chancellor's Procession. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession.
Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellors and campus principals, university executives and other members of staff, honorary graduates, members of the graduating class of 2021, members of the media, and distinguished guests. A very warm welcome to the presentation of Graduates 2021. My heartiest congratulations are extended to every single graduate of this class. I applaud each one of you for staying the course and completing your degrees. You have done well, and it is truly my honor and pleasure to greet you all on this special day in your academic careers. First and foremost, I ask that you take the opportunity to thank the loved ones who have made this journey with you. Your parents, partners, spouses, children. They have watched you burn the midnight oil and supported you through assignments and exams. For many of you, this is a collective achievement, and I urge you to express your gratitude to your most ardent supporters and cheerleaders. A graduation ceremony is a time for celebration and represents a moment when, as comrades who have toiled together, you reflect on your academic journey and breathe a collective sigh of relief. It is done. What next? Graduation represents your transformation from students to alumni. It is a time when those of us who are on this side of the ceremony view with enormous pride the procession of graduates across so many disciplines, the wondrous gathering of brilliance representing so much promise for the advancement of our societies and economies. Since March 2020, the pandemic has impacted how we do so many things. How we work, how we learn, how we conduct a significant ceremony such as your graduation. This change in the mode does not in any way diminish the significance of the celebration. And this is my central message to you today, that despite the changes that have taken place and will continue to take place, whatever you do in the future must be impactful. It must be done to a high standard, with commitment to advancing not only your personal interest, but those of the wider community in which you exist. We have accepted the inevitability of change. How we as individuals and as society adapt to those persistent and constant changes will be a measure of our personal and collective resilience and success. Over the past 20 months, the UWI has adapted to drastically changed circumstances, and I applaud the leadership of the institution for taking bold steps to shift to online and blended teaching and learning. 2 cohorts have since completed their programs, and this is also testimony to the dedication and commitment of the academic staff and administrative staff and the technical staff as well, without whom this would not have been possible. I will ask that at an opportune time, you thank your lecturers and all of the support staff who have worked with you to ensure that you reach this point in your life, this moment, this graduation ceremony. However, I believe that the best way in which you can thank your loved ones, as well as the leadership and staff of the UWI, is by continuing to do well in whatever you choose to do. I use the well-known phrase in encouraging you to go forth and prosper. I echo the sentiments of former Vice-Chancellor of the UWI, Sir Alistair MacIntyre, expressed almost 30 years ago, as he acknowledged the inevitability of change, particularly in a university context. Sir Alistair noted that universities such as the UWI can no longer guarantee to fulfill the historic goals of a university to turn out educated and cultured persons. What the UWI can and must do is to provide an introduction to learning in this uncertain world. A degree is not a job guarantee, but, as Sir Alistair noted, it is a door to that largely unraveled world of knowledge, a start on a long and uncertain road. At the time Sir Alistair made those remarks, the world was adapting to the phenomena of the knowledge economy, and the notion of a single job for a lifetime was being overtaken by multiple career changes and exponential advancements in information and communication technology. Those changes have continued unabated, and even more so in the past 20 months. A university education provides its graduates with the tools for unleashing their potential, to be critical thinkers, objective in their assessment of the information available, open to other schools of thought, and to be able to use the information for the advancement of themselves and of the societies in which they exist. Always be kind to yourself. We often forget the importance of taking care of our own health. In these different circumstances, mental health is as critical as physical well-being. Hold fast to your dreams, but remain rooted in reality. Respect everyone you come into contact with, regardless of their status. It will serve you well. Give back to your alma mater. There are many ways in which you can do this. Be mentors to students, serve as adjunct faculty or technical advisors in subject areas. There are multiple ways and opportunities to contribute to ensuring the work and reputation of the UWI remain at a high level. Wherever you are, the Alumni Office will be reaching out to you. There are chapters in many contributing countries and in the countries to which our graduates gravitate. I hope that you will stay connected with your alma mater and your class. I will end with a quote from Michelangelo. The greater danger for most of us is not setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Go out, dream large, make all of us proud. We are met today in order that we may mark by a formal ceremony the entry of certain of our members into the company of graduates and the academic achievement of others. As a university, we are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors, and we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning, purposes which are laid down in the preamble to the Royal Charter by which we have been granted the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. In pursuing these aims, our members advance from time to time to a higher standing in the academic community. And it is proper that as a body, we should celebrate their achievement. It is marked by the granting of a degree or diploma or license or certificate, and we rejoice with our graduates on their advancement.
Chancellor, I now ask the public orator, Professor Elizabeth Walcott Hackshaw, to present Mrs. Lynette Ciberon Sweet, whom the Senate and the Council of the University have been pleased to recommend for the award of the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Chancellor, there are words depleted of their power to move us because of overuse or even misuse. But then special individuals come along and words such as courage, brilliance, service, and vision resonate once again. Lynette Ciberon Sweet is one of these individuals. In her many roles as lawyer, educator, and advocate, she has spent much of her life fighting for the vulnerable groups who have endured discrimination and injustice. She has heightened awareness in the national community for reform in family law, domestic violence, sexual harassment, reproductive rights, and gender policy. Chancellor, it may seem strange to say, but Ciberon Sweet's voice is not her own. No, instead, it is the voice of many who have been unable to speak up for themselves. Exceptional individuals are a combination of their innate gifts interacting with their external environment. Ciberon Sweet, the firstborn of 7 children, grew up in the rural market town of Caroni Village. From an early age, she was imbued with the ideals of public service and social justice, with parents active in the realm of politics and trade unionism. Ciberon Sweet was a precocious child, not one for outdoor life, preferring to devour the books around her home. From an early age, it was clear that she would make use of her gifts. At Holy Name Convent, she was a member of the high school's debate team and took part in the mock UN debates held during that time. After high school, she entered the Faculty of Law at the Cave Hill campus in Barbados, where she graduated with first-class honors. She then attended the Hugh Whitting Law School on a Hugh Whitting Memorial Scholarship awarded by the UWI Guild of Graduates. Ciberon Sweet was called to the bar in 1977. Recognized early in her career for her legal acumen, she had the opportunity to choose a lucrative legal path. She chose to focus on family law to fulfill an inherent desire to serve the underrepresented in the society. Chancellor, to this day, you can find her litigating in the courts, conducting family law, and her advisory litigation practice. It is remarkable that Ciberon Sweet has had in excess of 160 reported cases as the lead attorney. It is never easy to select the milestones of such a tremendous career. One of her earliest causes was in the Industrial Court, where she represented the National Union of Domestic Employees in a case brought against an employer by a domestic worker. Her work as chair of the Equal Opportunity Commission brought to Parliament a request to amend the discriminatory definition of sex in the Equal Opportunity Act. During her tenure as chair of the Port Authority Board, the Port Authority building was constructed on time and within budget. Ciberon Sweet was also the first woman on the board of the Trinidad Publishing Company Limited. As chair of Aspire, Advocates for Safe Parenthood, Improving Reproductive Equity, she brought into the public domain debates around a woman's right to choose. Ciberon Sweet has played a crucial role as a conduit for public education, breaking down the law in a language that we all understand, so that we know what is at stake. She has spent decades of her life fighting bravely and speaking out fiercely for women, children, and all vulnerable groups in our society. She has advocated with passion and compassion. Chancellor, for these acts of courage, service, and vision, I present Mrs. Lynette Ciberon Sweet and ask that by the authority vested in you by the Council and Senate of the University of the West Indies, you confer on her the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
by the authority vested in me by the Senate and Council of this university, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, of the University of the West Indies. I now invite Dr. Lynette Sibaran-Sweet to address the company.
Chancellor Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal Professor Brian Copeland, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates, graduating class of 2021. May I start with expressing my humblest appreciation of the recognition accorded to me, and by extension the women's movement and the legal fraternity of Trinidad and Tobago, on the occasion of this award to me of an honorary Doctor of Laws. In doing so, it would be appropriate for me to refer to the mission and core values of the university as articulated in its 2017 to 2022 strategic plan. A mission described as linked to the university's overall vision of excellence to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of the Caribbean and the wider world, and espousing such values as integrity, excellence, gender justice, diversity, and student-centeredness. In this regard, I would like to acknowledge the university's teaching programs in history and social and political sciences, the arts and humanities, and particularly in the work of the Institute of Gender and Development Studies, and in the Faculty of Law, where specific courses on gender, human rights, discrimination, constitution, and family law are taught. The university can thus be seen to be exhibiting its stated core values of gender justice and diversity. I am proud to be a past student. On an occasion such as this, I will take the liberty of briefly sketching out an outline of the women's movement in Trinidad and Tobago, as I experienced it, taking a rare opportunity to pay tribute to many of the stalwarts, individuals and organizations working in gender justice, with whom it has been my privilege to collaborate since the decade of the 80s and up to the present. Many names come easily to mind, such as our late First Minister of Government with responsibility for gender affairs, Elmina Clark Allen, under whose auspices Trinidad and Tobago acceded to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW as we know it. It was under her guidance that the short-lived National Commission on the Status of Women was established and on which I had the privilege of serving. Mention must be made of the late Wilbert Permel, former St. Augustine campus registrar, who, along with myself, Jackie Burgess, Dennis Hyacinth, and others, led Aspire through its decade-long campaign for sexual and reproductive health and rights. It was during Aspire's tenure that it was clarified that despite the criminal provisions in the Offences Against the Person Act, it was lawful in Trinidad and Tobago for a doctor to perform a termination if, in his clinical judgment, it was necessary to preserve the life and the physical and mental health of the pregnant woman. It was during this period also that the Caribbean Association for Feminist Research and Action, CAFRA, was formed as a regional organization under the auspices of UN Women, the Trinidad branch of which was most latterly led by Tara Ramutar, who we recently lost. This was the era of the formation of such organizations as Women Working for Social Progress, led by the likes of Merle Hodge and Rhoda Reddock. That Diana Mahabia Wyatt founded the Coalition Against Domestic Violence, now ably visioned by another stalwart, Roberta Clark, late of UN Women, and working in tandem with the Rape Crisis Society. Organizations such as CAISO, led by the late Colin Robinson, focusing on gay rights and always operating in solidarity with the women's movement. Hazel Brown, another colossus, continues to head the network of NGOs for the advancement of women. Fulade Mutota of WINAD and Grace Talma must also be mentioned. Indeed, such was the collaboration between the interlocking network of NGOs that it was difficult to tell where one organization ended and the other began. Terry Innes has more latterly taken up the challenge to form and lead the CEDAW Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, CECOT, whose principal mission is to push for the fleshing out of Trinidad and Tobago's obligations under the UN Women's Convention. Gayatri Pagas has worked diligently over the years to birth various items of legislation in the field of gender and family law. To this long list of networks, I must add kudos to the board and management of the Equal Opportunity Commission, where I served over the period 2014 to 2020 alongside Drs. Beverly Beckles and Emmanuel Hussain, Colin Cowie, and James Chinchuk, and with the devoted leadership of CEO Devanti Dayan Maraj Ramdeen. It is always a challenge meaningfully to address a gathering such as this, comprising the best and the brightest academically of our society. Should one adhere closely to one's sphere of putative knowledge and experience, that is to say, the development and practice of family law, gender and development, human rights and non-discrimination, and advocating for the rights of disadvantaged groups, such as the differently abled, the LGBTQI community, those stigmatized by the contraction of HIV/AIDS, and victims and survivors of gender discrimination and gender-based violence. Should one address the broader national or indeed global challenges of the day, climate change, environmental degradation, poverty, pandemics, racism, war, religious extremism. So many of these intersect with the issue of gender justice that it would perhaps be a conceit to attempt a separate treatment. I was fortunate to come of age in an era which witnessed and to participate myself in monumental legislative advances concerning the status of women, girls, and children in Trinidad and Tobago. Women had already enjoyed adult suffrage since the 1940s and did not suffer from some of the more egregious impediments to the rights to property ownership, the exercise of civil and political rights, and bodily autonomy experienced by many women in other societies. For example, 1973 saw the introduction of a new divorce regime which equalized the grounds upon which men and women could seek divorce, and introduced the concept of consensual divorce and a fair sharing of matrimonial assets upon marital breakdown. 1981 saw the introduction of the Status of Children Act, giving explicit recognition to the social reality of the then approximately 40% of children born outside of marriage, creating various methods of establishing the paternity of such children and thereby pinning the responsibility for their maintenance in the appropriate quarters. It was a bold move at one stroke of the parliamentary pen to abolish the status of illegitimacy, primarily a property concept, by equating the inheritance rights of all children, whether born within or outside of wedlock. The Family Law Act abolished the domicile of dependency of married women, which prevented them from filing for divorce in their chosen country of residence upon separating from husbands living in another country. This act also codified the welfare principle in the court's adjudication on children matters and equalized the rights of mothers and fathers to the custody of their children, whether born in or out of marriage. 1986, importantly, saw the abolition of certain discriminatory rules of evidence relating to the evidence of women in sexual offenses, such as the rule of recent complaint and the rule requiring corroboration of the victim's evidence. 1991 saw the introduction of the Domestic Violence Act, later revamped in 1999 and again in 2020. 1997 saw the introduction of the Cohabitational Relationships Act, which gave further recognition to our social realities in the creation of a right to a financial award upon the dissolution of a cohabitational relationship, which had lasted 5 years. In 2000, Part 8 of the Succession Act was proclaimed, revolutionizing the law of inheritance for those who did not leave a will by increasing the surviving spouse's portion from 1/3 to 1/2, and creating a right for a broad category of dependents who could challenge both the terms of a will or the rules of intestacy on the basis that reasonable provision had not been made for them. The period of the late 2000s saw the introduction of the package of children legislation, operationalized in 2012 with the setting up of the Children's Authority. We are beginning to see the fruits of this package with the increasing frequency of reports in the newspapers of persons charged with various sexual offenses created in the Children Act, including inappropriate touching. Most recently, the Miscellaneous Provisions Marriage Act has standardized the age of consent to marriage at age 18, replacing earlier ages for marriage, depending on religious persuasion or the common law. In 2004, a family court project was initiated in Port of Spain, and in 2016, the Family and Children Division Act created a separate division of the High Court. Other family courts recently rolled out in Tobago and Princestown. Sadly, though, these courts are woefully under-resourced, with the average period between adjournments in family matters now running at 9 months. One of the last official acts of the Equal Opportunity Commission, before I vacated office in 2020, was to work with the Attorney General and other stakeholders in the drafting of sexual harassment legislation, which hopefully will shortly reach to Parliament. But of course, we all know that the passage of legislation by itself is not sufficient to remedy society's ills. This requires a progressive vision for the society, a frank and data-informed assessment of societal challenges, consultation and policy formation, public education, and the commitment of the necessary resources to provide services and bring about normative change. Much of this is sadly lacking. As the mother of an adult daughter who lives and practices abroad, and as a soon-to-be grandmother, fingers crossed, I would like to describe the kind of society that would ideally greet them on a return to Trinidad and Tobago. A society which has sufficiently matured politically and which has risen above the challenges associated with its plural nature, so that there is a shared vision for development, opportunity for all, and a recognition of the steps needed to remedy the systemic historical ills engendered by the circumstances of our arrival on these islands. A society which develops a progressive vision and engages in rigorous forward planning for the best and highest use of its natural and human resources. A society which recognizes the global challenges of climate change, environmental degradation, globalization, the brutalist forms of capitalism we observe in our metropolitan neighbors. A society which is committed to eradicating poverty, giving land to the landless, fostering a spirit of mutual help between groups, of entrepreneurship and innovation, and which is committed to seeking meaningful reparations for the ravages of the transatlantic slave trade. A society which tackles head-on the need to revolutionize our educational system from the earliest stages to equip our peoples to participate in the fourth and the emerging fifth industrial revolutions, the digital age, the age of robotics, and the age of burgeoning technological innovation. A society genuinely committed to gender justice and gender equality, such that we routinely socialize and educate our children away from harmful and restrictive gender stereotyping, where we develop systems and mechanisms for training all groups into recognizing the benefits of family formation, family preservation, respectful relationships, and a recognition of the evils for children of family breakup. A society with a sensitive and well-resourced family court and family support systems with adequate social safety nets for vulnerable groups. A society which has created the mechanisms where women and children can safely exit abusive relationships and find secure housing for themselves and their children, and where their needs for jobs, job training, and childcare are catered for. A society which facilitates the recognition by and accountability for their behavior on the part of intimate partner abusers. A society which has reformed laws such as the Equal Opportunity Act and the Domestic Violence Act, which currently discriminate against persons on the basis of their sexual orientation by failing to provide the remedies created by these acts. A society where religions across the board recognize and remedy the historical harm of their patriarchal teachings, which foster discrimination against women and which have enabled centuries of sexual abuse and child sexual abuse. A society where women benefit from laws and have access to information and services which encourage them to postpone sexual debut until consolidation of their life skills, which enables them to plan their families, to guard against the incidence of unwanted pregnancy by the uptake of contraception, and where they have the full range of pre- and postnatal care and agency in the number and spacing of their children. A society where the evils of sexual harassment in institutions, on the streets, in the protective and caring services, in public transport, and in the workplace are acknowledged, planned for, and where remedies are created to compensate, protect, and support victims and survivors of this evil of sexual harassment. This then constitutes my vision for beautiful, talented, brilliant, fun-loving, diverse, innovative, open-minded, hospitable, humorous, proud Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to acknowledge the support of my colleagues in law, my mother, my beloved deceased father, my 4 sisters and 3 brothers, my daughter and stepson, and last but not least, my husband, Professor Emeritus Engineer Winston Herbert Edward Sweet, in whose aura of love, encouragement, and support I have been able to thrive and achieve over the past 45 years. In closing, it is with a spirit of humility and gratitude and expressly acknowledging the collaboration and input from all those numerous actors enumerated above, and with the best wishes to the graduates and the heartiest of congratulations to my fellow awardees, I proudly accept this award of Doctor of Laws from this my alma mater, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus.
We will now have a performance.
Just want to say a special congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. I hear they say what don't kill only make you stronger, nah, nah. But Lord, I can't take the dirty ways no longer, nah, nah. If I have to risk my peace of mind, tell the devil you look, but you ain't find me. I'm not where I really want to be, so please don't try and heavy me, oh no. you stronger, nah, nah. But Lord, I can't take the dirty ways no longer, nah, nah. Sawa, sawa, yeah.
Sir, the persons whose names will be called having studied in the University of the West Indies, and having fulfilled the requirements of the University of the West Indies, beg leave to be presented to you and to the Senate of the University by the representatives of their faculties as Bachelor of Laws or Bachelor of Science, Engineering, or Bachelor of Science, Petroleum Geoscience, Geomatics and Land Management Evaluation, or certificates of this university. Sir, the Dean of Law, Dr. Arif Bulkan.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive, as graduate members of our society, these persons who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society.
Sarah Abdul, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Kaleem Ali, Samir Ali, Saeed Ali, Vanessa Andrews, Avin Badri Maharaj, Shiva Baliram, Jadan Behari, Candice Bernard, Reshma Bharat, Renee Brown, Jerome Charles, Aaron Chunising, Christopher Coots, Kaylee Daniel, Jelani Davidson, Jovan Davidson, Daryl D'Souza, Brianna Dionorine, Ishara Diopasad, Suan Diosaran, Tara Devines, Vashni Dipchan, Victor Famim, Adam Fernandez, Mylene Findlay Saunders, Alyssa Francis, Calissa Francis, Chrislon Fraser, Samantha Frost, Akinola Goodrich, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Megan Gopal Singh, Jada Gordon, Jesse Guy, Sabash Hansraj, Roshad Haricharan, Rihanna Hari, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Akesh Hira, Daron Hiralal, Nikia Henville, Marianne Jamuna, Jean-Luc Julian, Kayla King James, Anthony Kisoon, Chantel Lake, Danielle Langdon, Amanda Mahabir Singh, Nirupa Mahadio, Shania Maharaj, Anuradha Manak, Shellyanne Marcano, Rachel Marchand, Ciara Marjad Singh, Davana Melville, Celine Mohammed, Malina Mohammed, Raisa Mohammed, Shania Mohammed, Tariq Mohammed, Amanda Mohanlal, Aaron Morales, Adrian Moreno, Ashley Motilal, Danisha Monroe, Chelsea Nanlal, Maria Nemhard Santana, Dariel Neptune, Chanel Noel, Samantha Olivier, Sophia Omowale Lewis, Ria Perez Duran, Nicholas Passad, Michonne Passad, Ariel Polaya, Brandon Ragunanan, Renisa Ragunanan, Celine Ramkisoon, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Angelina Ramlal, Devi Ramnarayan, Annalisa Ramsaran, Nicolas Sant, Mikhail Sau, Throyan Scipio, Renee Scotland, Vasha Singh, Anthea Smith, Tariq Smith, Dana Sugrim, Markel Stout, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Malcolm Superville, Adia Tilak Singh, Lorena Thomas, Renee Umaid, Afisha Williams, Errol Williams, Lamar Williams, Leanne Young, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Jessica Zute.
Sir, the Dean of Engineering, Professor Edwin Ekwo.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons who haven't fulfilled the requirements of the university have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Engineering, or Bachelor of Science, Petroleum Geoscience, or Geomatics and Land Management Valuation, or have been awarded certificates of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society.
Zahir Abbasali, Sadiq Abdul, Tamara Abdul, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Louis Abdul Melendez, Chancellor with First Class Honors, David Abraham, Cortland Adams, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Michelle Alexander, Noel Ali, Ruhiya Ali, Farah Ali Shah, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Jonathan Andrew, Jair Andrews, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Daniel Archibald, Adrian Ashton, Aryan Babulao, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Donovan Banner, Caleb Beard, Sasha Beckles, Richard Bernard, Trevon Bernard, Edward Bethel, Reshma Bedesi, Varun Birbal, Nigel Bassoon, Edward Blash, Kevin Blackburn, Charles Blenman, Hallie Bobcom, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Anthony Boudou, Salim Boudou, Simran Boudou, Jelani Borel, Renata Bowles, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Shireen Boxell, Daquan Boyce, Dylan Bridgemahone, Selena Calendar, Christy Carr, Yehu Carrington, Chern Sabalo, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Jarrell Chablal, Naeem Chan, Anil Charles, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Javon Charles, Zakia Charles, Cherian Chinking, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Tariq Cooper, Chancellor with First Class Honors, Shanice Cox, Ajamu Crosby, Dylan Dalbari, Amaya Daniel, Dinesh Daniel, Chrisanne Davis Roston, Yesh Devadine, Malika Didier. Chancellor, with first class honors, Karen Dennis. Randy Deochan, Fawaz Diosaran, Devendra Danu. Chancellor, with first class honors, Dylan Dorey. Chancellor, with first class honors, Artie Doughto. Quincy Dixon, Shivana Duku, Ekechi Douglas, Luke Dwarika, Alan Edwards, Jeremy Edwards, Nkosi Edwards, Adane Edwards Dyer, Kavani Fagan, Siobhan Felix, Andrew Fonsette. Chancellor, with first class honors, Casey Ford. Christian Francis. Chancellor, with first class honors, Lincoln Francis. Shamaya Fraser. Aki George. Chancellor, with first class honors, Jerron George Douglas. Jordan Gill. Chancellor, with first class honors, Kyra Gill Etienne. Dylan Gobadan. Chancellor, with first class honors, Anessa Gooding. Joshua Gooding. Ramiz Gulcharan. Sanjeev Gulcharan. Yaren Gosain. Adisa Grant. Chancellor, with first class honors, Tishana Grant. Shannon Ray Hackett. Aaron Halliday. Dario Hamilton. Chancellor, with first class honors, Joshua Harper. Chancellor, with first class honors, Rajiv Haripal. Vashish Harilal. Juan Haynes. Isaiah Henry. Shaquille Hills. Reis Hossain. Cameron Hyacinth. Ambika Jadunanan. Jared Jagai. Shiva Jagat. Chanel Jaimangal. Anthony Jairam. Chris Jagru. Kristen Jordan. Kevin Joseph. Ryan Joseph. Terry Joseph. Verinda Kalpu. Chancellor, with first class honors, Rihanna Kandai. Chancellor, with first class honors, Sarah Khan. Rajiv Kisur. Brent Cockerham, Jonathan Lakai, Jordan Lake. Chancellor, with first class honors, Shante Marie Lala, Amrit Lal, Jamel Lala, Adil Latif, Kirtley Lewis, Xavier Lazama, Alex Lokai, McKinney Logan, Rishi Lacour. Chancellor, with first class honors, Danielle Lord, Farrell Lubrin. Chancellor, with first class honors, Catherine Luatin, Anas Lunat, Christian Mahabal Singh, Rishad Mahabir, Vikash Mahabir, Nityan Mahabir Singh, Rishard Mahadev, Stefan Maharaj, Udava Maharaj. Chancellor, with first class honors, Arun Mangra. Chancellor, with first class honors, Talize Marksman, Joshua Mason. Chancellor, with first class honors, Kalyani Mathura, Dylan McNichols, Callis Mike, Sarika Misrilal, Justin Mitchell, Anisa Mohammed, Cassian Mohammed, Riyad Mohammed, Safia Mohammed, Sarah Mohammed, Selena Mohammed, Zafir Mohammed, Chandoy Moses. Chancellor, with first class honors, Talha Muhammad, Sunil Narain, Niranjan Narsama, Nicholas Nimar, Selena Nina, Liam Nim. Chancellor, with first class honors, Zachariah Olotoje, Adebayo Opadei, Omari Pacheco, Naomi Padmore. Chancellor, with first class honors, Keegan Patrick, Peter Perrone, Vishal Prasad, Rhea Prasad, Adeola Peters. Chancellor, with first class honors, Khalifa Philip, Tyrone Philip, Jessica Prescott, Randir Ramachala, Alim Ramatali, Avinash Rambaran, Shivani Rambajan, Luke Ramcharita, Ravindra Ramdath, Ryan Ramkasoon, Kevin Ramkalawan, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Arun Ramkisoon, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Enrique Ramkisoon, Crystal Ramkisoon, Vishal Ramkisoon, Vidya Ramlochan, Vama Ramlochan Singh, Candice Ramnarayan, Christopher Ramnath, Vasisht Ramnath, Natalia Ramutar, Rachel Ramutar, Ariana Ramsahai, Nixon Ramsaran, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Nasir Ramsawak, Neera Ramsubag, Stefan Ramsubag, Elise Reed, Shakila Rivallo, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Glacia Roberts, Paul Rojas, Daniel Rosan, Josiah Rostand, Christopher Sammy, Kyle Sammy, Clinton Samuel, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Lyndon Samuel, Neetu Sankar, Shivana Sankar, Majiv Satnarayan, Johan Seals, Tiffany Seeley, Nathan Simongo, Andrew Senath, Mikhail Sucharan, Tyler Sudath, Adam Sulao, Brad Shanklin, Rainier Sinanan, Rakesh Singh, Janelle Sokolou, Taradath Suknanan, Darshan Suku, Akeem Sterling, Daniel Stewart, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Hemawati Sudama, Kristen Sumer, Ashti Tiwari, Tyler Thomas, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Makisha Tyson, Theo Walcott, Darian Walters, Muhammad Westmus, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Andrew Williams, Andy Williams, Chancellor with First Class Honours, Maya Williams, Najee Yearwood. Chancellor, with first class honors, Rondell Yearwood. Sylvan Yearwood.
I now call upon Ms. Selina Mohammed, Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Geoscience, with second class honors, Upper Division, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Brian Copeland, honorary graduates, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates, friends. I am Selina Mohammed, and it is a distinct honor to represent the voice of the 2021 graduates as we commemorate the culmination of our degree programs. This year group is particularly special, and yes, I'm definitely being biased here. For most of us, our university experience was split equally in half. We know what it feels like to be physically present in lectures, to interact with our conversant lecturers and bounce ideas off our classmates next to us. We know the adrenaline rush we got when we had to run to the library before class to print labs and assignments that were due in just a few minutes. The thrill of hanging a man jack between lectures and walking across the quad hoping Subway's line isn't too long, or that Oriental has lollipop chicken and we already know KFC has no change for 100. We got to experience the excitement of Guild Fest, where we registered for way too many groups than we could attend and participated in all the booths that had free things given away. We know how it feels to let off steam playing badminton in spec or table tennis and pool in sack. Those were the glory days. But alas, it all ended sooner than we had anticipated. We didn't know that a random Thursday in March would be our last physical day on the campus. That we could no longer walk along the greens on our way to the bus route or hang out in the undercroft during lunch. Instead, we were tossed into a global transition that, unbeknownst to us, would see us to graduation. Now, online school definitely has its perks, like not having to get ready and commute in the mornings. Instead, we could just roll out of bed and log into lectures, or knowing that our 8 a.m. classes were being recorded so we could catch a little extra sleep. I meant take notes diligently. However, as the bad inevitably comes with the good, there were pitfalls. Days when we felt like the workload had doubled since being at home, or like we no longer had a safe space where we could escape from school. And when aiming to ace courses turned into, I just want to pass. Those were the days that tested our mettle. Our UWI journey fostered within us determination, patience, and adaptability. Characteristics that are invaluable for making a life of meaning in this world. All of us can relate to the long nights and early mornings that inundated our student life. The sacrifices we had to make and the sheer grit and grind that was necessary for success. We may have even cried over some assignments, but we powered through the circumstances with determination. Graduates, don't ever lose that hold on determination, because ultimately, that is what will enable you to power through the hard knocks of life and rise above adversity. Patience within our journey would have taught us to be forbearing. Forbearing with our classmates, group members, lecturers, and even ourselves as we experience growth and development. Change doesn't happen overnight. This is a useful quality to take on board for life, in the workplace, as well as in your social relations. It was Sir Arthur Napoleon Hill who said, patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. And I can say without a doubt, we were patient, we were persistent, and we didn't just perspire, we sweat. As I mentioned earlier, Because our experience of academic life was both on campus as well as online, adaptability is now our middle name. Many take a lifetime to learn and internalize this soft skill. Our experiences have bolstered our capacity to be adaptable. No longer can rigidity shackle us to conform to society's mold. We are evolutionary. On behalf of the graduates, I wish to express gratitude firstly to God, since this achievement would not have been possible on our own strength. To our parents, families, and loved ones for their unwavering support. To our lecturers and university staff for their commitment to education and shaping our future leaders. We see and appreciate you. Graduation is always a bittersweet experience as we say farewell to our lecturers, classmates, and those lovely assignments. However, it signals the commencement of new journeys, the exploration of new horizons, and the birthing of new opportunities. The future is beaming brightly for us as our university motto, "A light shining from the west," so aptly captures our essence. Wherever your endeavors take you, seek to recall and implement your inner determination, the patience with which you have been infused, and the adaptability you inherently possess. Go forth and shine your light. Be a change maker. I thank you. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021.
Sir, I now call on Professor Rosemary Bell-Antoine, Pro Vice Chancellor, Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you members of our society for the award of high degrees of this university.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been awarded postgraduate certificates and diplomas, and have been admitted to master's degrees, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called master's degrees, postgraduate diplomas, and certificates of this university, and recognize their advancement in our society.
Avenel Carut, Carissa Albino, Jenna Bertrand, Grace Bagwandine, Cindy Lou Bruce, Chancellor with Distinction Rudyard Davidson, Aixa Edwards, Abigail Gibbs, Anthony Gibson, Brandon Jadunanan, Chancellor with Distinction Rondell Keller, Vishala Kadu, Farisha Muhammad Ali, Sintra Philip, Chancellor with Distinction Crystal Piper, Surendra Ramkisoon, Athena Ryan Abbott, Kavita Saran, Justin Sinanan, Leanne Whiskey, Annika Fritz Brown, Julie Gonzalez, Alexander Ramdas, Nisha Sukram Lutan, Kurt Da Silva. Chancellor with Distinction Hannah Hilton Edwards, Dana Joseph Wallace, Kern Lewis. Chancellor with Distinction Javed Ali, Jarada Mohammed. Chancellor with Distinction Terrell Dunpal, Chris Meetu. Chancellor with Distinction Viresh Ramnarayan, Shane Harry. Chancellor with Distinction Zaim Imkaraz. Chancellor with Distinction Brian Ali, Sean Reed. Chancellor with Distinction Shivani Sonila. Chancellor with Distinction Mildred Bonnier, Dale Ann Board, Radine Craig, Nicholas Dean-Dayal. Chancellor with Distinction Annabella Frank, Jamie Rodriguez. Chancellor with Distinction Jamie Lynn Jordan Butts, Rommel Dukiran. Chancellor with Distinction Monique Dowling, Nadia Gaur, Safair Rahim, Yvonne Ali, Anthony Bailey, Matthew Carr. Chancellor with Distinction Jeremy Cowan, Chancellor with Distinction Byron Fermin, Chancellor with Distinction Videsh Jaimangal Singh, Mikhail Kunu. Chancellor with Distinction Farzan Mohammed, Iheani Chikwu Onuwa, Rishi Prasad, Rajendranath Siratan. Chancellor with Distinction Marvin Sinanan, Al-Mahdi Ali, Bo Bechu, Stephen Brown, Ariel Raghu, Isaiah De Freitas, Alison Haricharan, Justin Jagarsa, Stefan Jagrup, Dinesh Maharaj, Sarah Mohammed, Nicholas Sinanan, Ryan Singh, Kinita Koilas. Chancellor with Distinction Alicia Lachman, Jerome Rupchand, Vitesh Baburam. Chancellor with Distinction Sharice Lai, Chancellor with Distinction Darian Mahadev, Chancellor with Distinction K.C. Rupnarayan, Chancellor with Distinction Janelle Ryan, Chancellor with Distinction Sarita C. Paul, Chancellor with Distinction Christian Siratan, Reina Sukhdev, Chancellor with Distinction Avinash Babua, Ramesh Bechu, Shashi Bihari, Rene Gomez, Dominic Khalidin, Lauren Rodriguez, Thurston Semple, Mariella Wilshire, Chancellor with Distinction Ahilia Gajadhar, Chancellor with Distinction Adriana Maharaj, Randall Mahabir, Rohini Bidesi, Avin Birbal, Shaneka Dularchan, Chancellor with Distinction Andrietta Maharaj, Zandria Mohan Singh, Ryan Patrick, Reshma Raghunath, Kedal Rajpal Singh, Shelly Simongal, Stephen Subrat, Kurt Lee Batiste, Kurt Batiste, Chantal Budram, Samantha Buziniak, Stacy Fevek, Chancellor with Distinction Indira Gopi, Keisha Halls, Milagro Heredia, Sharon Johnson, Chancellor with Distinction Renelle Lovell, Nirmala Matmangal, Chancellor with Distinction Chanel Mohammed, Peter Moti, Chancellor with Distinction Jamaica O'Brien Rosales, Chancellor with Distinction Tricia Paladi, Tamara Peters, Chancellor with Distinction Anuradha Phegu, Radhika Raghunanam, Chancellor with Distinction Edward Rajmouli, Chancellor with Distinction Vincent Rambaran, Don Robertson Singh, Chancellor with Distinction Janil Sutherland, Jerome Telfer, Chancellor with Distinction Darius Williams, Nigel Barrow, Kadisha Collins, Arnott Jones, Robson Monswami, Chancellor with Distinction Shaina Tika Singh, Ravi Babulal, Sharice Khan.
So, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering, Rosemary Skeen. Doctor of Philosophy, Geoinformatics, Jewel Paul. Doctor of Philosophy, Petroleum Geoscience, Laishan Sum.
I now call on the President of the UWI Alumni Association, Mr. Jerry Medford, to lead the graduates in the Alumni Pledge.
On behalf of the UWI Alumni Association, the Trinidad and Tobago chapter, I extend congratulations to you on your successful transition from matriculation to graduation. May you continue to make us all proud as you pursue your careers with Pelican pride. As a graduate of the University of the West Indies, I commit myself to uphold the ideals and goals of my alma mater.
My conduct and voice shall reflect the commitment to excellence of the light rising from the West.
As I fulfill my social and professional responsibilities
and serve my community and my region.
I will strive to ensure the UWI's place as a Caribbean icon, the catalyst for Caribbean development and leadership.
It is a legacy that I will proudly help build for future generations. The UWI, first in our hearts and first in our region.
We will now have a rendition of the university song, There Is a Light. This brings to a close the public ceremony by which the University of the West Indies has signalized the award of degrees, associate degrees, diplomas, and certificates to its graduates.